It felt like the 2020 tech scene was dominated not by feature-rich executive flagships, but by the more humble and importantly accessible mid-range devices, or at least devices with mid-range chipsets. Today I want to discuss why this was, along with what we could expect from mid-range chipsets going forward. Up until 2020, the limelight in the tech scene was mostly reserved for the monstrous best of the best devices with wacky designs and crazy cameras. Mid-range devices were mostly lower profile and a lot more were sold, which made them more of a commodity and less exciting to talk about. What you'll find though is that devices like the OnePlus Nord, Realme X50 5G, the Pixel 4a, 4a 5G, and even the Pixel 5 and LG Wing were all rather talked about at length during the already rocky ride that was 2020. I don't know about you, but I heard a lot less about the OnePlus 8T, Realme X50 Pro 5G and Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus than these other devices. There's one big reason why mid-rangers enjoyed such success in 2020, and that's the fact that Qualcomm vastly improved its cut-down chipsets compared to previous years. The Snapdragon 730G and 765G are both fantastic chipsets, with the latter being especially exceptional for a mid-range part. These are the chips that were mostly found in the more successful sub-flagship devices of the year, such as the ones mentioned before. But looking at things on a deeper level, it's clear to see why these things were so popular. With flagships normalizing at nearly 4 figures, cheaper devices with good quality chips in them were a lot more accessible and appealing, especially given the situation that billions found themselves in. This bump in mid-range devices also pushes companies to make their flagship products stand out and appear far more advanced. If Google's cut-down device is really good, spoiler alert it is, then it's going to have to make the Pixel 5 a lot better to make sense. Spoiler alert, the Pixel 5 is quite a bit better than the Pixel 4a. No company wants to cannibalize its own products, and with a really solid mid-ranger should naturally come fantastic flagships. Secondly, the 765G got pretty fast. We ran a load of tests last year and the 765G comes very close to the Snapdragon 845 in terms of CPU power. As for GPU power, it's not quite as close as I think a lot of people would like, but it's still a big step up from the Snapdragon 730G. As an overall package, the Snapdragon 765G is plenty fast for those whose daily smartphone routines consist of scrolling through social media and watching the odd program. Let's face it, a lot of us could get away with using a mid-ranger these days. The performance isn't the only improvement. The 765G's feature set is also rather expansive for a cheaper chipset. There's 5G connectivity, support for up to Ultra HD 4K 30fps video capture, high refresh rate displays, and up to 12GB of RAM. That first one, 5G connectivity, is going to mean a lot to those looking to quote-unquote future-proof their smartphone. Of course, this is going to depend heavily on which region and area you live in, but to some, 5G is definitely going to be important, and it's something that the mid-rangers finally have. Was it a good thing to see more mid-rangers with less of a focus on the high-end? Heck, even Google ditched a flagship chip this year. Yes, it was in my opinion. Along with making the tech scene far more accessible, it's a big indication of how far we've come in the last couple of years. Having flagship tech from 2 or 3 years ago already trickle down into the mainstream volume devices shows the progress that many companies are making and is exciting going forward. I'd be surprised if, in the next couple of years, we don't see features like Ultra HD 4K 60fps recording, Wi-Fi 6, and a Snapdragon 855 level GPU in a mid-range chipset. These features are currently reserved for the top tier chip, but as those things get even better features, the trickle down seems all but inevitable. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the shift to mid-range chipsets in 2020. Would you buy a mid-ranger for the first time after using a flagship for so long? Did you buy one? Or are you an out and out flagship or nothing kind of person? Let us know in the comments. And that about wraps things up for today, guys. Please do check all the links in the video description, and whilst you're down there, hit like and subscribe to never miss a video like this one. I've been Ryan Thomas for the Android Authority, and I'll catch you later.